Today I want to talk to you about how to maintain makeup in a very hot country, i.e. in Thailand. So now the weather gets, because it's going almost to the rainy season, but it's like the peak of the heat season, the hot season, sorry. The weather goes from about 35 degrees to 40 degrees. The real feel is usually about 3-4 degrees higher. So it is really hot, especially if you add in concrete and cars and the fact that I walk everywhere. Oh my god, you are drenched in sweat at the end of every day. But luckily my makeup tends to stay normal. You don't get any like streaks or weird crinkles in the corners of your face. I do get quite dewy, and that's something that I cannot control because I've got very oily combination, mostly oily skin. Anyways, I'm going to show you a few products. I'm not actually going to put them on my face or do anything like that because I'm just awkward, and I think that it would just be silly if you watch me going like making faces. Like when I put on foundation, I've been told I kind of do this. Like I'm like I make faces, so there's really kind of no point in having me do that. It's like a torture exercise. Anyway, first things first is my SPF. Now I use Retin A to get rid of all my acne scars that have left their mark on my skin, and it's been working fabulously. It gives me a little bit of dryness, which I actually welcome because my skin has always been crazy oily. And I'm using so far the Biore SPF 50 Face Milk. My friend Keiko, love you, gave it to me, and she got it from Japan, but I'm sure you can get like a really light, can you hear that? It's like a really light soft face milk, and it doesn't make your skin oily, it actually mattifies it. But definitely in Thailand you would want to use SPF. If you use those reflector glasses or refractors, whatever they're called, you will notice that they always go black when you're walking outside, and that's because the sun here, especially like the UVA or UVB damage, is so high. I wouldn't even play around, not because of the colour of my skin, but just because of things like skin cancer and just generally aging your skin prematurely. SPF, always important. Numero duo is kind of a combined thing. I always use primer, and primer here. I never used to be into primer, to be honest, especially in London when I take the underground. It's always so stanky and sweaty, but like in a polluted kind of sense, so I always tend to try and wear as little as possible so my face doesn't have to like fill up with it at the end of the day. You know when you go home after you've been on the tube and you wash your face and all that soot comes off? Well, I don't want to add anything to my makeup routine, so I just generally didn't use it. But here I find that primer is a godsend. It's actually a lifesaver, and it's really one of the key ingredients in making your makeup last longer. I've got two, and they're both from Sephora because it's the same name, see, just different spelling. But anyways, they're both from Sephora and I absolutely love them. This one is like clear, and this one's got a little bit of a tint. It's like there's different colours. Now I actually just take them and I mix it with my foundation and just in my hand and just slap it on my face. And I know everyone has brushes and they do all that stuff, and that's totally great for them, and sometimes I do that, but the majority of the time it's like carnage and just like rubbing my face really hard. So I would definitely recommend you get a primer. Invest in a decent one. The cheaper the primer, the more likely it is just to be like really heavy and create that thick, sickly look. So definitely get one that feels really light to the touch, but also glides on and gives you a lovely, lovely sort of poreless finish. And I've got huge pores as well, so this is really good. Obviously I mentioned my foundation, which is like step 3 or 2, whichever you want to call it, and this is the Teint Idole Ultra 24 Hours from Lancome. Don't worry about the pictures, I'm going to leave all the links to where you can get them below and everything. Now this foundation is, I've been using the same bottle for a year, and that's just simply because I don't need to use a lot of it when I mix it in with my primer. I know there are different steps that you can use your primer first and the foundation. I'm lazy. Okay, I'm actually lazy. So I just sort of rub it in my hand and rub it on my face. But this is a great foundation because it's meant to be for like oily combination skin like mine. Unfortunately, it's only got SPF 5, but that's fine. And it's like mattifying. From my face, you can see that I'm a little bit matte, but at the same time, I'm still quite oily, especially in the T-zone area and the cheeks. That's usually where I always get oily. But I love this because it stays put. On its own, it's really good, but with the primer, it's even better. Last but not least, something that I went kicking and screaming to get is Ta-da! Powder. My best friend recommended this. She's just said, like, just get a little one, just dab it in some places, and you'll find that your makeup doesn't crease, and it just mix it around and everything. And she was absolutely right. Thank you, Bernie. This is something that now I've realized that I should have been using a long time ago. Powder just sets it in place and stops it from creasing. I'm always smiling, and I always get these like huge like laugh lines, but then the makeup crease is there. And with the powder, I actually think it's a lot better. It's on like one line now instead of like all the way looking like Ronald McDonald. Anyway, so yeah, definitely get a powder. This is the MAC Studio Fix powder. I've got one that's a little bit lighter because my makeup always oxidizes in this crazy heat. So this sort of takes it down, and it works basically. So I'm not a makeup guru, but I thought I could share with you guys a few things that I really love to use and have been using for a while. It's tried and tested, and a lot of the time in the rain because I don't like to carry an umbrella. No. So yeah, this is really worth it. I think if you are going to use makeup in a hot country, definitely invest in a good SPF. That's like the most important thing. Good SPF, a decent primer, and I don't think this is too pricey for how long it's lasted me, but a very good foundation. The drugstore brand, like I've got Revlon, they are okay, but there's so many problems I don't even need to make an effort anymore with them. I just buy one bottle of my Lancome and it lasts me about 6 to a year depending on how many times I use it. I hope that helps. And yeah, this is the request video, and if you have any more requests about makeup or anything, I would definitely be happy to go to town on it. I just think that there's so many other amazing people on YouTube with a wide variety of knowledge. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Speak to you later.